So now I just thought about something. And hey, there's this thing that happens in my brain. Like, I think it happens to y'all. I feel like it probably does. I have thoughts. I have a lot of thoughts, obviously. And there'll be sometimes, like, okay, because I just left the door unlocked. And I was like, when I realized that, I was like, bro, I just left the door unlocked this whole time. It's nighttime and it's been like 4 hours. And I was like, immediately that like doom thought was like, how could you do that? Blah, 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 blah. You know what could have happened? Somebody could have broken in. Someone can be waiting out in the bushes because I'm facing like the woods. Waiting out in the woods and running inside right now. They're going to bust open the door. Like all this crazy, like all these irrational things. And if I would have opened that door, like if I just said, oh, I left the door unlocked, and the next thing to say would have been like, how could I, like, why would I do that? How could I leave the door unlocked? Whatever. And that was gonna, like, open the door to, like, this stream of thoughts that was gonna be like, how could you do that? Someone was gonna kill you. Oh my God. Horrible. They could have come in here. They could have done this and that and that. And I was like, I'm not even touching, like, when I was like, I'm not even touching that fucking. I'm not even touching that thought with a 10-foot pole, bro. Like, because if I would have, like, if I even like I can hear the thought, I can see the thought, because it's like, okay, let me slow down. I'm just so like, our thoughts, like we're not our thoughts, right? If we were our thoughts, we wouldn't be able to perceive that we were thinking unless we were like extremely self-aware. But then even then, we couldn't see from the outside perspective of a thought, right? So we can see, like, right now I'm in like an afterthought, but I can still see that thought from before. But I can still hear things that I'm thinking. Like there's still thoughts in my mind. But then I can pick one to then say. So that means that I'm not the thought. Because if I was the thought, I wouldn't have the choice. I would just be the thought. Because I had already been thought. You know what I mean? So there is an awareness. There's like a consciousness that is what is perceiving the fact that, like, oh, I'm having negative thoughts right now, blah 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 blah, right? So if you can just live in the consciousness part, like, no, if you can just quite easily live, like, obviously we're living in the consciousness part, but I mean, and by not picking those intrusive thoughts, like, don't pick it up, don't even open the door, because if you open the door, if I would have been like, dang, how did I leave the door unlocked this whole time? Then it would have been a slew of thoughts. It's just pointless. Like, what's the point? Why would I? Obviously, the door's locked now. Two, this whole time, nothing happened. So why would I even engage in that negative thought process? All I have to say is, I have to make sure I close the door. I lock the door. Period. I didn't have to go down a whole doomsday for that. Just recognize facts and then move on. Don't even open the door. Like, and so that's really helpful. Like, don't even pick up the thought. Like, all these thoughts can happen at any time. Like, anything that happens in life, because there's infinite possibilities. All the good things you can think of, all the bad things I can think of, anything can happen. So if you pick any of those up, your mind is just going to expand and expand and expand on that thing. So you might as well, like, it's honestly about picking and choosing your battles and what's worth it and what's not. Obviously, things that are very, like, pertinent, you sit down and think about, like, all the pros and cons, and, but sometimes you don't even have to open the door. You don't even have to go there, because what would have been the point of me, like, wasting, because the brain consumes calories when we think. I didn't know that till the other day, but the brain consumes calories when we think. That's why you feel so fatigued after you, like, are in a spell of just overthinking, like tunnel, like jumping into all these holes, all these rabbit holes, But why expend the energy? What's it gonna do? Is it gonna contribute anything positively? No, you're just gonna waste time and energy. So there's no point. Don't even open the door to intrusive thoughts. You don't have to. You don't have to. You can choose what you wanna, like, which thought you want to give attention to, which thought you want to breathe life into. You get to choose that. by speaking on it, right? By bringing that, literally breathing life into it, using the word to create that. You know, why? What's the point? You know, you can choose what, I mean, like, why? What's the point of, like, choosing things that aren't good, don't benefit you? I don't know. Yeah, just don't even open the door when you have those kinds of thoughts, because now the door is open. Really make sure, like, we gotta really make sure that we're intentional about which doors we're opening and which doors we're closing and which doors we're leaving open and not realizing it's still open. You know, these are important things in life. Doors are important. Peace.